Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Only Stupid Answers. This is the show where we answer your questions about movies, TV shows, comic books, the boys, them boys. I'm your host, DJ Wooldridge. With me, as always, is Roxy Stryer. Hello, Roxy.
The girl.
The girl. How are you doing today?
The boys. I like, and then you ask me how I'm doing, and I have to go, I would say is the answer to how are you doing?
Yeah.
How are you doing, DJ?
I'm doing all right. For those that watch live, you got to hear about my little trip. If you're not watching live, check out patreon.com/onlystupidanswers for the live tier. Probably going to be adding some stuff to that tier soon, so keep your peepers peeled on that.
Whoa.
Little business up top. I already mentioned patreon.com/onlystupidanswers for extra content. If you like this show and you want more of it, Spider-Versity, what we're into, stuff like that, you can check out our Patreon. There's going to be a link in the description. Please give us a 5-star review on iTunes. We appreciate it. Every week on Spotify, we have a question or a poll. Last week's poll was, this is for the Acolyte, what's your favorite lightsaber color? Here were the options, Roxy.
Okay.
Blue, green, yellow, purple, or red. I want to know your choice and what you think the people's choice was.
I think the people chose red.
Mm-hmm.
Green, yellow, purple, red. Mine was always red, but my favorite color is yellow.
Yeah.
So somewhere between those.
And I gotta say, when we're watching The Acolyte, the yellow is appealing, but I think it's appealing to that part of my brain where like you get you're not blue or green like the normal kids. It's different. Yeah. So here's what the people chose: 20% blue, 40% green, 0 chose yellow, 40% chose purple. So green and purple are tied, and nobody chose red.
Wait, I'm that far off?
Here's the thing that's. I feel like, and this is one of my problems with the lightsaber colors.
Green, I would have said green was second.
Yeah.
But I guess, wow.
Yeah. And I think it's just because Star Wars has really planted its flag that red is bad guy. And that bums me out. Because I'd be red. I would do the red one.
Yeah, but you just said which looks the coolest.
Which one would you prefer?
Which one would you prefer? Man, red's so cool. What was your answer?
I want to say red, but that makes me. But then again, I think the bad guys are cool.
Purple, it's crazy, DJ. I'm just reading your aura, which is something I don't even know what that sentence means, and you are purple.
Here's the thing. I played that. Jedi Survivor was the recent one. What was the Star Wars Jedi? Whatever.
Yeah, let me tell you, DJ. I know it was Star Wars Jedi Queen.
Yeah. The Jedi game was, and they gave you an orange option. And I chose that probably for the same thing of like, nobody has orange, so I'm going to use the orange one.
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
Red and yellow, somewhere in between. Wouldn't that be orange?
Mm-hmm.
Colors. Sorry, DJ, you're purple. That's the way it is. What am I?
Well, it's not. You're wearing blue right now. So I feel like blue.
I'm so sorry, but on that transition, I just want to tell people I designed this sweater.
Yay!
I'm very excited about it. RejectNationShop.com. It's like
whoa! Are you pimping a different shop on our show?
I'm so sorry, but I designed this sweater. They gave me my line over there. I'm happy about it.
That's cool. Check it out. There won't be a link in the description. Real rejects don't need my help.
Screw them.
They're doing fine on their own.
Okay, so I'm wearing blue, so I'm giving blue
vibes.
Blue lightsaber.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah. Blue's not bad.
Red, man. Red's so cool.
Red's cool. And I'm going to be
honest.
Black
is cool.
Black is the Sith are cool, dude. They've got a cool aesthetic. Vader, Maul, fucking Kylo Ren. They got a good vibe going. Aesthetically.
Cool. See, but like yellow's low-key gold.
See?
I got a lot of thoughts on this,
yeah.
DJ.
We're going to spend a whole episode. We're going to do a whole episode on lightsaber colors. It's going to be hard to transition into this, but I just wanted to take a second. We were up here. Energy was good. I'm going to take it down for a second. I just wanted to mention on my trip, I got the news that a friend of the show, comic historian, Benny, passed away tragically. He's been on the show several times. I've met him in person a few times. He's a great guy. Obviously, good friends with Sal, who you all know from Spider-Versity. And so I just wanted to. I don't know. I actually don't know the right way to acknowledge this or talk about it. But I just wanted to send my love and condolences to his family and friends, and to all his fans out there, because I'm assuming there's at least some overlap. So to all those that have been enjoying his content, it's tough. That's tough, and it's it's tough. It's tough to lose somebody in the space, somebody that we've collaborated with, a friend of ours. So yeah, just be kind to those in your life, and always let the people you love know that you love them. And so on that note, we're gonna switch on over to news. Try and build the energy right back up. I should have positioned that in a different part of the show.
No, I think DJ, it's like when somebody does what we do even differently, you feel a kinship to them, and then he's been on the show and you have close friends with him, and just it's a human being who's around our age, who has a wife and a whole life, and just it's effing sad. And so I do think it's important to acknowledge, because it matters to, and I'm sure to a lot of the people in the audience. Like you said, there's always crossover. It's like big Venn diagrams with all of us in that middle section. That was probably hoping that you would say something. So
yeah. And so if you haven't sent your love and condolences, it looks like his wife is still running his Twitter. So send your love over there. And yeah, so just a lot of love and condolences to all the people that were in his life and a part of his life. Going on to news, Blade, the Mahershala Ali Blade movie that has been in development since 2019, lost another director. Jan Demange. This is via the Wrap. Jan Demange is no longer directing Marvel Studios' Blade. The parting with the French-Algerian filmmaker actually happened a while ago and was entirely amicable. Demange, best known to date for directing the acclaimed television series Lovecraft Country and Top Boy, was the second director to part the project after replacing Bassam Tariq, who directed Mogul Mowgli. According to an insider with knowledge, getting Blade right is much more important than getting the film out. The pressure to produce as much content as possible has been lifted, and the studio is now looking to release just 2 films per year, which gives the team at Marvel Studios some breathing room. How much of that is spin, do you think, Roxy?
I know. I was just thinking that. And I'm also thinking, where are they at with Blade right now? Like,
I thought they were filming. I thought they were filming.
That's what I mean by the question. So I'm looking right now. This is on the Wrap. It says Marvel veteran writer Eric Pearson, who most recently worked on Fantastic Four, is currently working on the Blade script.
Yeah.
So,
which has had multiple rewrites at this point.
Yeah, script Michael Starberry, Nick Pizzolatto, and Michael Green wrote previous drafts of the script. Mahershala Ali is still attached to Star's The Half-Human Vampire. So to me, it's interesting that we're hearing that the director dropped and somebody is currently working on the script.
Yeah.
I think those things must be linked. Either director didn't like direction that this script was going, or somebody's working on the script now because so many directors have dropped that they realize they need script changes, or I guess they have nothing to do with each other and just lack of confidence in the project. I don't know. I don't know what to make. I wouldn't think. I just watched. Shout out to Real Reading.
Yeah.
I just watched Blade for the first time.
It's good.
And
it's a good one.
Yeah, it was very good. And Blade 2, and was there a Blade 3?
There is a Blade 3. I have not watched Blade Trinity.
So I watched all 3 of them.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't think this would be that difficult to remake.
You would
Like,
think. You would think.
after watching them, I was like, oh yeah, for sure, cool. This makes perfect sense. Yeah, for sure. And then we keep hearing all this, and I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah, I wonder. It doesn't definitely feels like a symptom of Marvel's the general sense of aimlessness around Marvel, because I know the tweet I've seen circulating online a lot is basically like something along the lines of like walk into a Marvel boardroom, put on the whiteboard, John Wick with vampires. You know what I mean? As Blade, it's just John Wick with vampires. Just do that, and it's like, yeah, man, that's kind of all you need to do. It's not. Are you trying to figure out how it connects to your bigger? Just do a Blade movie. It doesn't need to be burdened with all this stuff. You've got Mahershala Ali. You've got Blade. Go print money.
So what is your theory about what's going on here, DJ?
I kind of think, I feel like Marvel has lost its sense of direction post Endgame. And the machine is not, and that could be for a variety of things. It could be because, the story they were building to, they finished. It could be because, they're talking about the mandate to do more projects, because I was surprised. It took them almost 10 years to do 3 phases. And then when they announced the next 3 phases, like, we're going to do that in 5 years. And so maybe that was a symptom of directive from on high of like, we need 3 or 4 movies a year, which now they're scaling back. And it could be all of those things. But for whatever reason, Marvel has lost its mojo. And I think like a lot of uber successful things, it is suffering in some sense from its own success of it's nervous about losing its top dog status. And I would think in an era post Werewolf by Night, where it kind of felt like we were able to experiment a little bit more. And also maybe they're seeing like what happens with Deadpool, because like, I don't know if they've confirmed if Blade is going to be R or not R. The Wesley Snipes Blade movies were R rated. And so maybe there's some, maybe one rewrite was to make it PG-13 and then they wanted it R. So they did another rewrite. And then they're like, actually, we want it to be PG-13 again. And the director left because like I was told I was making an R-rated movie. You know what I mean? Maybe it's stuff like that. I don't know.
In the chat, Leonard Kim says, I don't necessarily blame Marvel for trying to really nail this. Leonard Kim, I think that's such an unfair statement, my dude. Like, neither DJ nor nor anybody is blaming Marvel for trying to really nail this. I think all studios are trying to really nail it. I don't think that's the problem, that they're really trying to nail this. That's why that happens. A lot of people who are really trying to nail movies spend a lot of time in pre-production. They have a script ready.
Yeah.
They bring that script to a director.
Yep.
The director has a clear vision for it. And then they go into production.
Yeah.
That is the way that movies really are supposed to be made. And when you don't do it like that, sometimes things like this happen.
Yeah.
Where you have kind of a part of a script and then a director, and then the script changes, and then the director changes, and then that script changes again, and then you go to a different director, tries to work with that script while it's still changing.
Yeah.
Because like you were trying to rush it at first, and then it just causes it to be longer. I don't know that that's what happened here. I'm not saying that this movie isn't going to be good.
Yeah.
Nothing about this is making me say this movie is going to be trash. I don't think that at all. I just think Hollywood is so weird.
Yeah.
There is a tried and true process to things. Have a really good script, then find director for said script, then make movie.
Yeah.
And we keep messing with it.
Yeah, it's like, one of those.
Pick a director and then try to write it with somebody else after pitching the director. What?
So for example, Roxy, you're 100% right, because we're in an age. We've been in an age for a while, but I think we're at the peak of it, where it's like, all right, we have a release date and a star. Now just to figure out director and script, and it's like, whoa.
What is the movie?
But I also think something that maybe Marvel is struggling with, I just looked this up. So John Wick 4, the fourth John Wick movie, because we've talked about this on the show before, that every subsequent sequel tends to cost more money than the previous one. John Wick 4, the fourth one, the biggest one, longest one, biggest one, $100 million to make. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was $326 million. So maybe Marvel's struggling with like, wait, how do we make Blade for $300 million? And the answer is you don't, guys. You just don't. You make it. This is your opportunity to like make money, make a cheaper movie and make money off of it. I'm going to look up.
Because what I would say to what you just said, I know you didn't like Quantumanium and I did, but and that's too much money regardless. However, it makes sense that Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumanium was 3 times as much as John Wick 4 because there was an entire different world that we're going to that they had to create, and that's expensive, and more A-list actors, more stars.
Yeah.
So when it comes to Blade, I'm so with you, DJ, that you're right. What about Blade is giving $300 million? Nothing. This script, Blade really should be like on par with Joker at that $70 million.
Not Joker 2, Joker 1. Joker 1.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to make Blade for $70 million.
Yeah. Yeah,
they
and
won't.
I think I wonder if that maybe is a problem with where they're at. Like, how do we make this a big tentpole 4-quadrant blockbuster? And it's like, well, that's not what Blade is. You don't. The answer is you don't. You don't. Because, like, for example, we've talked about this on the show before. Maybe I'm thinking of Mutant Academy. Deadpool 1, $60 million. Deadpool and Wolverine, $300 million. You know what I mean? And it's like, for Blade, you should be shooting more towards Deadpool 1 than, and I'm worried, and I wonder if maybe it's like, but can we multiverse it with, no. Just do Blade. Start with Blade, and then you can build, man. Then Blade can team up with Doctor Strange. I'd be into that shit. But you work towards that. Just right now, just make a Blade. Just do a Blade.
Yeah. I mean, there's no reason why Blade shouldn't come in under $100 million.
Yeah.
There's no reason.
Blow your money on Mahershala Ali and your stunt team and call it a day. That's your Blade.
I do wonder, like, unlike Fantastic Four, where they are going into a property where they're like, okay, no Fantastic Four thing has been universally loved.
Yes.
There's nothing that, like, no, you don't hear people being like, Fantastic Four is my favorite movie, any iteration of it, right? So they kind of have a little bit more freedom with what story they can tell, as opposed to Blade, which a lot of people say is their favorite superhero movie of all time. Yeah. Like, a lot of people love Blade. Yeah. So I wonder if they're kind of grappling with, Blade didn't come out that long ago. Are we telling a completely different story? Are we telling the same story with different people? Yeah. Is it kind of a combo? And those are all decisions that should be made in the script before you pitch the director, because you know the version you're trying to make. Yeah, those should have been decisions that were made in 2019 before you announced Mahershala Ali as Blade. Right. Or the director and the writer are in tandem, and they come at it and they come to the studio, this is our take on it. Yeah. But there's just, it bothers me now because nobody has to have a take on anything anymore before getting hired. Yeah, and I think it's also, again, it's that desire to turn this whole thing into a production line, which again, I think goes back to why studios think they can get away with AI. And it just makes me bummed out, man. It makes me, I don't know, when I was in the airport, I was reading something and I was talking about AI, and it's like, fuck, man, we're really getting into the area, and we're already kind of here, but if this AI thing takes off, it's like we're going to get into the IKEA of movies where everybody just has this shitty, boxy furniture. I shop at IKEA. I'm not throwing stones. I'm just saying, like, man, yeah, but you don't shop there because you have $100 million. You shop there because... Yeah, but it's, it's just because it's, because it's not, it's not, I really don't feel like it's people coming in and pitching their Blade movie. It's like the studio saying, we want this Blade movie. Well, you do our Blade movie. And then they're like, oh, we changed our mind on what we want our Blade movie to be. And the director's like, all right, well then I don't want to do that one. It's like, all right, fine, get out of here. Here's the Blade movie we want now. And it's like, that's not, in my opinion, how movies should be made. All right, well, I'm going to see it when it comes out. It's Mahershala Ali as Blade. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm going to see that shit. Okay. Me too. But speaking of violent superhero movies, nailed that transition. Nailed it. Violent superhero stories. Let's get into The Boys, which just had its season 4 premiere. 3 episodes dropped
this week, as of this recording, previous week, if you're listening to this on Monday. Roxy, how are you feeling? Just general thoughts on The Boys in general. Let's catch the kids up on how you feel about them boys.
I love The Boys. It's one of my favorite shows. Is it my favorite superhero show on? Yeah. I love Extraordinary too.
Yeah.
But they're kind of the same, like different sides of the same coin, where Extraordinary is just the comedy version.
Yeah.
But I love The Boys. I love Gen V.
Yes.
And I think that I'm really attached to this world that we have. And I love the messages and the meta-ness and the commentary that The Boys always has on our world.
Yeah.
This season it's no different with like how it's very political. The show's very political.
Yeah.
But it's political in a fun, entertaining way.
Most of the time. Sometimes it gets a little less fun. You're like, oh no, this hurts a little bit. This hurts.
Also, I like that they always remind us who Homelander is. This is a little more specific, but in the first, it's like sometimes I be forgetting how bad Homelander is.
Yeah.
And then we open up and it's like the scene where he is asking one member of the Seven to blow another member of the Seven.
Yeah.
Yeah, not asking, telling.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh yeah. This man runs things here. And I also think that it's an interesting, now we have, like, as opposed to in previous seasons, we have two clear teams going on, and then that, like, the spies between them.
Yeah,
the show doesn't get old for me. I love it.
Yeah, I also really like The Boys. To your political point, there are times where I wonder, like, wait, what is the alternate history of the boy? Because there's like a joke about, like, and Epstein killed himself. I'm like, I'm sorry, Epstein exists in The Boys universe? What were the... I feel like you need to unpack that a little bit. Who was on the plane?
Yeah. Okay, well, though, also, spoilers for The Boys.
Yeah.
I mean, we call him Feral. So...
Oh, dude! We'll get to that. We'll get to some of the... Amazing.
Saying,
I clapped. The second when that happened, I clapped. I'm like, this is hilarious. This is amazing. Oh, man. We'll get into some of the cameos. But yeah, I think that I really like The Boys. That is a good question. Is it my favorite superhero show currently still running? And I'm hard pressed to think
Superman. You love Adventures of Superman.
I do. You know what? That is a good point. I do love my Adventures with Superman. So I will give myself the out of saying, is it my favorite live action superhero show on the air? Yes. Yes, it is. I think so.
DJ, what are the other ones? I'm like racking my brain.
Because all the Marvel shows aren't necessarily like they feel like miniseries basically. So those aren't. The
like,
CW
I guess,
shows are done.
Obviously, there's all the Disney Plus ones, so it would be She-Hulk.
Yeah, but you said currently still running. I don't think it's not like we're getting extra season. We don't even know, are we getting another season of Moon Knight or She-Hulk or anyone? It's not the same as like a season a year.
Agatha all along.
Yeah, it was Agatha all along. Because if you said that, I probably like She-Hulk more than The Boys. Oh, I'm gonna get so much hate for that one. But
what live action superhero? I mean, Miss Marvel. Are we still running that?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm gonna Google what live action superhero movies are currently on.
Yeah, and then Superman and Lois is getting a 4th season, but I stopped watching that in season 2. Okay,
let's see what live action superhero shows are currently on. Well, the first thing that says is Arrow, so I'm not going to.
Yeah. Thank you, Google AI. Thank you. But yeah, and I think you make a good point with Homelander because it's tricky in that he is the worst person ever, but he's a really good villain. Like, he's a really compelling villain. I would argue he is in the upper echelon, like pantheon, like best superhero villains on TV. Arguably one of the best villains on TV. Antony Starr is great. I will say this going into season 4. So we watched the first 3 episodes for this, and they are good. It is good TV. I think my only issue is season 3's top TV. I have this concern that the show peaked in season 3 because season 3 was so good, like Peak
But
The
I'm honestly
Boys.
okay with that. Like, if this is slightly less good than season 3, it's still going to be one of the best shows on TV.
Yeah. Yeah. I was a little. So here's the 3 episodes we got. We got Department of Dirty Tricks, Life Among the Septics, We'll Keep the Red Flag Flying. I will say a lot of table setting in Department of Dirty Tricks. And also, I don't know if you made the same mistake, Roxy. They're like, here's the recap. I'm like, I don't need the recap. And then as characters are saying stuff, you're like, oh, that's right. Not only do I have to remember season 3, I have to remember Gen V. And they're like mentioning plot lines from Gen V. I'm like, oh, that's right. Oh, I should have watched the recap.
No, I watched, so I didn't make that mistake.
I didn't. Yeah, watch the recap.
I am a TV expert. Yeah, but I hear you. There definitely is a lot of stuff to remember, and sometimes I don't remember all of it, and I just kind of like catch up as I go. But what I'm also liking out of the jump that we're doing this season that we didn't do in season 3 is we're very focused on his kid right now, and their relationship, and it's a ticking time bomb.
Yes.
And that is building, the stakes are really high here because we're dealing with kids, and the most evil person to ever live.
Yes.
So it's, yeah. And then also, I haven't even mentioned this. I don't know that there is a character that I enjoy watching as much as I enjoy watching Deep.
He is so fucking funny.
You knew what I was going to say before I got to the end of that?
Because he's so the actor is,
Chace Crawford is his name, and he was on Gossip Girl, and I've been a fan of his forever. And on Gossip Girl, he just played like a rich, douchey kid.
Yeah.
Which is such a great transition into this.
His comic timing, like he is one of my favorite comic actors on TV. He's so fucking funny. Just little, so you watched all 3, so just little stuff like the Bloomin' Onion, like his reaction to that. It's like, fuck, dude, you're gold, man, you're gold.
Because he has golden retriever energy.
Yes.
But he's also so messed up.
Yep.
Okay. But also I feel bad for him, DJ, because he is on PETA's bestiality watch list, which is fair.
Yeah.
However, he is part sea creature. It's not the same as somebody who's 100% human dating a fish. Is
this the clip I should pull for the TikTok video?
I'm not pro bestiality. I am just saying, are we not going to cut this guy some slack? Like, if you were part dog and part human and you were sleeping with a dog, the humans would think that was gross, but it makes more sense than a full human.
We're going to leave it at that. I'm going to let the audience at home parse that one out. I do understand your point, but God,
he's in love with his octopus. I feel bad for him.
The lover of love and shipper of ships. I get it, Roxy. I get it.
She's like, are you embarrassed of me? He's my favorite character. I cannot stop watching Deep. He is so weird and wild.
Yeah, he's so funny. He's hilarious, and the show knows how to execute him perfectly. I'll be interested to see, because they've given. And I think this is a smart decision. They've started to give A-Train a little bit of a redemption arc, which I think is smart. And it's like, because remember, the Deep has done some awful shit. No, the Deep's gonna die horribly. The Deep is not gonna make it out of this show. Okay.
A-Train is the one we started with.
Yeah.
Because he's the one who runs by on the curb.
Yep.
And I was kind of always waiting for this pivot.
Yeah.
It definitely means that A-Train's not going to make it out alive, I think. I don't think that there's any way that he becomes good and lives.
Yeah.
Because that's not what the show is.
Yeah.
But I do think it is really smart, because he is the one that I feel could be redeemed the most.
Yeah.
Even though none of them really can. Yeah, I like that a lot. I definitely like that a lot. I think that obviously we know Butcher's in trouble in terms of making it out. I think A-Train's in trouble for sure. I just don't want anything to happen to the Deep because he's so funny.
Yeah. In this season, we're dealing with the consequences of the end of last season. He was taking that version of V that is killing him, and also giving him worms. I have a feeling there's going to be a reveal. I have a feeling that thing they're heavily teasing is going to pay off later in the season. Yeah. But I think like everybody's saying he's got cancer. I think it's whatever these worm things are, and I'm wondering if he started talking to a version in one of the episodes. He's talking to a version of his wife. I wonder if there's actually like a thing in there. Like,
yeah, what's the Jeffrey Dean Morgan stuff?
I don't know. I have no idea. I am unclear because I've heard rumors that they might be talking about a spinoff of his character, and it's like I don't even really know what his character's deal is at this point.
Well, okay, this could be so off track because binging 3 episodes, but has he been in the room with anybody else?
Ooh, no, he hasn't. That's a good point.
Doing the 2 of them solo, and I'm like.
Do you think they're doing like an angel and devil thing? Like Becca's the angel, Jeffrey Dean Morgan's the devil?
It just does not feel to me like Jeffrey Dean Morgan is actually alive.
To that point, I think that's a great theory. I think that's a really solid theory. But I do think it's interesting. Speaking of redemption arcs, it feels like we're giving Butcher a little bit of dealing with the kid thing again, a little bit of a redemption arc. Not, obviously he's one of our protagonists, but he's not a good person. And I'm a sucker for this shit. Bad guy learning to be good. I love that shit. I'll eat it up. But I do think with this show, I have a feeling that like, yeah, okay, so he's going to try and be better all of season 4, and it's not going to go well, and we're going to get like off the rails Butcher in season 5, like full on like.
Do you think he makes it to season 5?
I think we're going to get into this more later, but season 5 has been announced to be the final season of the show. And and when Kripke was being interviewed about it, he's like, yeah, because I've always seen the show as the story of Homelander and Butcher, so it can't really continue without them. Implication being that like at least those 2 are making it to the final season.
Yeah, I'm with you even without hearing that, just because it is really their story, and Butcher keeps saying he has 6 months, and it feels like a season is not 6 months. So
they've given themselves like an in-show clock. Yeah, I think you might be right. So we're also introduced to 2 new soups. We got Firecracker. If you're watching the video, we got Firecracker here on the left and Sister Sage on the right.
Can we talk about Firecracker first?
Yeah, let's do it. She's kind of an anti-Starlight.
Yeah, that reveal though. It's like that reveal to Starlight.
Yeah.
This is why I don't like you.
Yeah.
Was so interesting because your past doesn't go away until you confront it. Mm-hmm. And even then, it's still your past. And when we met Starlight, like Miss Goody Two-Shoes always. And I liked hearing this story because you changed somebody's entire life.
Yeah.
And for the worse.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you going to make that right? And of course, this woman doesn't like you.
Yeah.
Like when Starlight kept being like, why doesn't she like me? Mm-hmm. And like, you don't even remember her and you ruin that part of her life.
Yeah.
And this happens with teenagers a lot. We don't know the consequences of our own actions at that age.
Yeah.
So that's why parenting is so important, DJ. It's just so important because Starlight was like, my mom taught me to be ruthless. And it's like, that was a learned behavior. Yeah. She called her a fat slut who was like basically gangbanged by all the judges.
Yeah.
And she's saying that like, ha ha ha, and then goes to get to live her life. No. And this girl got her dreams stripped from her.
Yeah.
So I am curious what happens there too, because that makes me think that there can be redemption for her as well. Not for Starlight, for Firecracker. Is that her name?
Yeah, Firecracker.
Although some of this hate she be spewing is wild, child. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't feel like. Also, I get the sense that like Homelander's into redheads, man. There's something. I don't know if that's like a conscious decision on the production team's part that they keep like pairing them with redheads. Totally. I want to talk a little bit about Sister Sage, who is the smartest person on the planet. That's her power.
Not smartest woman, smartest person.
Smartest person. Yep. Mm-hmm. And she is kind of recruited to be, Homelander's tired of having yes men in a circle. And so he wants somebody that'll he thinks he wants somebody that will speak truth to him.
Yeah. So obviously she's gonna die for sure. She's the only like sure bet I feel like is gonna go.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what her game is, and I'm trying to figure out what the show is saying. Because there's times where the show starts pushing its edginess that I was like, okay, what are we doing, the boys? What are we doing?
Like what? Like what?
Just black woman being Homelander's right hand person. Not to say Fox News doesn't have its black correspondents and stuff like that. You know what I mean? People that are kind of...
She's giving Candace Owens vibes to you?
I don't know that she is. That's kind of my point. And I kind of... Because she's savvy enough to point out that, like, they called her Sister Sage because she says, if you're a black hero, you need a qualifier on your name. So she's aware of that stuff. But she's still willing to let Homelander cleanse America. I wonder if either it's one of those things that, like, this is her meal ticket, like she sees her opportunity, it's one of those things, or if it's one of those she's actually, the advice she's giving Homelander is bad, and so she's trying to like unravel him, like out maneuver him basically.
Well, smart doesn't mean good, right?
Totally.
So we are dealing... I would say that probably the most evil people on the planet are some of the smartest. She doesn't seem to have much compassion. And when we look at how she's talking to everybody else, she's trying to get them to rise up against Vought. That was called Vought?
Yeah, Vaught's the company. Yeah.
Vought. So, and the woman, the figurehead, now mascot. So I do think that maybe her plan is to try to take over the Seven or something, but she really doesn't seem like she has... I don't think she's trying to screw with Homelander and mess him up because, like, why'd she just bone the Deep?
Yeah, that's great. That's a great turn, though. It's like such a... Again, just because the Deep's so funny, and it's like, man, a love triangle between the Deep, Sister Sage, and an octopus. That's great. I'm excited to see how this turns out.
Was she holding the bloomin' onion and that's what she was putting in his mouth, or was that... I was hoping it was calamari. That would have been funny. That would have been funny. There's a brief shot there that like there's like a poker that looks bloody, and I was like, wait. I know. And they like zoom out and it's on the table, and I was like, I missed something.
Oh, cool. So I'm not alone. I was like, all right, I'll push pause on this and see if later episodes illuminate what I'm supposed to understand is happening here.
Yeah, Mike Leonard, let us know. Yeah. Guys, let us know. Like, I saw that and I was like, is that just saying she did something bad?
Yeah.
Or am I supposed to know what happened?
Specifically, what bad thing happened? Yeah. I'll be interested to see how that plays out. Meanwhile, just running through our plot points, Hughie's dad is in a coma from a seizure, and we're reintroduced to his mom.
I'm liking the storyline with the mom. The reveal of the mom, though, kind of bothered me.
Specifically the way they revealed her?
No. The reveal of why she left.
Oh, yeah, I didn't. His response was kind of like, that changes everything. And I'm like, does it?
Exactly. Like, she's like, yeah, but because like I almost took my own life and then I knew I couldn't do this. And it's like, that's not okay.
Yeah, she's like, for me, it was life or death. And I'm like, well,
for your kid who needed you, that you willingly brought into the world, like that, this, like what? But I just feel like we let her off the hook too easy. And I think that the writers wanted us to be like, oh, okay, we like her now. And I was just like, no, you left when he was 7. You never came back.
Yeah.
Like, and I get that she's like, well, I tried to write to whatever. It's like, not hard enough. Show up at the door.
Yeah.
Come back. Like,
I think I would have been more forgiving if it was maybe like she was a danger to him. Like the postpartum, she was actively a danger. Her depression was actually dangerous to his safety. It's like, yeah, then you might want to get out. But like, I was a danger. I don't know. Whatever. You know, it'll be interesting to see how the show plays it.
Yeah. It just didn't work for me so far. If what they wanted me to feel was sympathy for her and like, oh, okay, I understand that choice. That didn't happen for me as a viewer. I was like,
Mike Joyce says in the chat, Reddit says she gave herself a lobotomy. I guess her brain grows back. That makes sense to me. I'm also a little... It's weird that 4 seasons.
I don't get it. What does that mean, though?
That because she doesn't like being so smart that she's like poking out parts of her brain, like because when you get a lobotomy, it's usually a needle up and through the nose.
Yeah, but what does I guess her brain grows back to? What's the lobotomy do then?
I guess give her a moment because at the time when he comes in, she's like watching trash reality TV, so maybe it's an escape from all the thoughts in her head. It seems
like that's how she gets through the day. That's like her drug.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It seems plausible.
But were we supposed to know that from that shot?
I don't think so. I think maybe we're seeding for later. But
maybe Reddit knows that from the comics.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah. Maybe. What was...
Sorry.
The mom... Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. It's weird. It's 4 seasons in that I'm a little unclear about... Do all soups have invulnerability? Because with Newman, they try to shoot her in the head and it bounces the bullet. So it's like you get this power also, but also invulnerability. And also how much Homelander is significantly more powerful than any human. How much more powerful is he than other soups? Like we've
kind of seen him go head to head with other soups and annihilate.
Yeah. And then,
but I'm not sure the extent, like we've seen him with Starlight and whatnot. But yeah, I had the same question about what's the new almost president's name?
Newman, I think is the character's name.
I was like, did he know when shooting her she wasn't going to die?
I think the presumption is no, because he was like, I'll give this a shot. Because they clearly had acid to see if that would work. And then he just tried to shoot her. So I guess they knew or they suspected that enough soups have invulnerability. But then the question is, they say multiple times with Sister Sage, all she has is she's the smartest woman. Does that imply that she does not have invulnerability? But enough...
maybe. I mean, remember, what was now I'm going back a little bit, but what was the character where we had to cut him up into those little pieces?
Oh my God. I don't remember.
Okay, well...
Yeah, I think I remember what you're talking about. Yeah, but I don't remember.
I think everybody has a certain extent, like you're trying to see what like
the level.
If you get 100% juice, where 50% where 25% of it, like strength, invulnerability, whatever it is.
Oh, maybe.
So maybe they're just testing in that moment. Like, does she have this? Yeah, I guess she has it.
Well, even and then there's a scene where like Homelander talks as if he can see the tumor in Butcher's brain. I'm like, wait. Does he have X-ray vision? I didn't remember us establishing that.
I think he smelled it.
Oh, that's a good point because we've multiple times this season his sense of smell is.
Yeah, and that's actually a real thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of nurses that can, because they're around it so often. I'm sure you would know more about this, but like one of the ways that some things are diagnosed is by smell.
Yeah.
From nurses and doctors. So if you have like extreme sense of smell, maybe you can smell a tumor. Because I was with you, I was like, oh wait, can he see through everything? And I was like, oh no, he keeps being like, I can smell you were with Butcher, I can smell this.
Yeah.
So it's just my brain filling in the blanks.
Because that was one of my I think I remember having a thought like, because obviously Homelander's a Superman analog, but I'm like, at least he doesn't have X-ray vision. And then it's like, wait, does he? Like, here's some questions we have from the Discord, which you can participate in at patreon.com/onlystupidanswers. This is from Grayson. With the proposed, quote, turn of A-Train, are you hoping that the show has more character arcs, redemption moments, or just have all hell break loose because some of the characters just have just gone a little too far?
Well, let's go through them for a second, right?
Let's do it.
Who even, in the 7, who would you be cool with having a redemption arc?
I would be cool with A-Train having a redemption arc.
He's the only one?
Is that weird? Because
would you be cool with Deep having a redemption arc or no?
Deep I mean, as an audience member, he's so funny, but he did rape somebody. And that's well,
A-Train did murder somebody and cover it up.
Yeah, but Deep murdered somebody in these episodes. I don't know if it's the first person he's murdered.
Totally. Just saying.
By the way, are we kind of supposed to understand that, like, getting powers, you're pretty much just a hop, skip, and a jump from being a psychopath? Because Newman's daughter with the face snakes just had no qualms about murdering a bunch of people.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. And same thing with Newman. And that also, to your vulnerability question, maybe Compound V reacts differently than if you were just superhero by birth, like what's his name, Son,
yeah.
Homelander. I'm wondering if maybe he's different too, and they expect him to be the same. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. They all do seem to be a little bit psycho.
For you though, the deep redemption.
No, I don't think so, because he's not a good person, so he wouldn't be doing it for good reasons. He would be doing it because it's like the popular thing to do.
Yeah.
So I don't think he'll ever be redeemed, but I do think he might go with A-Train because he might be like, screw Homelander, but not because he's like, this is wrong.
I do think with the direction of the direction I see the show going, and that I think is compelling, is that Homelander's ultimate downfall is himself, in that he is alienating everybody. And I think that's compelling, that it's like, if you could just be chill with like one person, like have one friend, you'd probably be okay. But you're just so up your own ass about everything. Anyway.
Totally. You know who we haven't even talked about at all?
Who?
Black Noir.
Oh. Black Noir 2. So
he's cracking me up.
Yeah. It's great. I'm assuming it's the same actor. They're just like, obviously in the show it's a different person, but the person playing it is the same guy. They're just letting him talk.
Mitchell is playing them both.
Great.
I'm obsessed with. So like, is he always asking us to kill people? Like, just what's the vibe?
Yeah.
He's cracked. The comedy in this show is on point.
Agreed.
Like,
yes.
That's so great. So I don't know, when I'm thinking about all the seven, I really only kind of feel like A-Train could have a redemption arc, and I guess Firecracker could have a redemption arc.
She hasn't killed anybody yet that we know of. She did try to kill the boys, but did not succeed. That'd be interesting. Firecracker having a redemption arc. I'd be interested in seeing it.
It's like less of an arc because we've known her for less long, but you know, she's really like kind of like, I hate to use this, but like she's kind of like a scorned woman. And so
I could see Deep not necessarily having a redemption arc, but surviving, like having that cockroach energy that like, I just kind of worm my way out of trouble.
Yeah. What about Ashley?
Oh shit. The one that pull out her own ear.
Wait, what?
The redhead that was like,
yeah.
She I think she's wearing, I think we've established at the point she wears a wig because out of anxiety she kept pulling her own hair. Yeah. Remember when she was in the first season of Jessica Jones and she was like the one bad part of Jessica Jones? She was the neighbor.
I don't remember.
Yeah, she was the neighbor that was like really weird. She's great in this show. She's really good in this show. God, redemption? No, man, she's not gonna make it. She might survive to be in like more seasons of Gen V and shit. Like, but I don't. She needs to run away. Is what she needs to. She needs to fucking run away, man. They're not gonna come looking for her, you know. But you need to. I don't quit. Just run away.
What do you think about the storyline that's going on with like Frenchie and Kamiko? Like, we haven't spoken much about Mother's Milk or any of the other people.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to have MM as leader because it seems like a slam dunk, but he seems to be struggling with it, like keeping everybody on a leash. And I think so far, I think this is a good Frenchie season. I think they're doing good stuff with Frenchie this season.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. I'm with you.
Yeah. Kamiko's always tricky because I don't know. They're doing good stuff with her. I like that actress a lot.
We're going to therapy and then being like, okay, so the speech stuff working? And she's like, if it was, would I be here?
Yeah.
She's kind of fun. Yeah, her timing's really good too, actually.
Yeah, it's tricky to act without dialogue, and I think she does a good job. Her little baby arm in the opening, her little Deadpool baby arm. Wait, so okay. Do you think, going to the redemption question, going back to that, do you think Butcher redemption, yes, no, and with him like more on the side of, like, obviously again, it's
the word redemption when it comes to Butcher?
I kind of agree with him when he says this to his son, like, I'm not a good person. It's like, yeah, you're not. Yeah,
but we're dealing with in a world of gray.
Yeah.
There's horrible people and there's not good people. None of these people have gotten out unscathed.
Yeah.
Even we just heard from Starlight. So I think that ultimately, I feel like Butcher's going to have to sacrifice himself for the kid.
I here's what I think colors it, Roxy. Is I didn't read a lot of the boys. But I do know how it winds up. And from what I understand is by the end, Butcher's basically as bad as Homelander. Like the end,
Really?
like the ending thesis is both these guys gotta go. Both Butcher and Homelander gotta go.
Yeah, Butcher's bad.
Yeah, but he's But to your point, he is way worse in the comics. Like way worse. The comics are way more nihilistic. And so I just wonder how, compared to the comic, I wonder how nihilistic the show is. Like, is Butcher going to end up being, to get Homelander, which, by the way, is a impulse I side with. Like, yeah, Homelander's a problem. Like, even in Gen V, when they're like, we've got this virus that kills soups, I'm like, yeah, keep that around, man. Because Homelander, I'd be like, no go. But, like, Homelander's a problem, my guys. And I just wonder if are we going to keep this trajectory of him trying to be better, because I kind of like what the show's doing, where like when he was gonna give Newman back her like files, and he doesn't. He ends up sending the butthole pic, and then he's gonna try and like abduct the son, and he doesn't. It's like, wow, this is surprising. This is shit Butcher would not have done in previous seasons, and I just feel like it won't last.
Yeah, I hear you. I guess maybe it will depend on that worm situation.
Yes.
I'm looking at the IMDb right now, and I'm just remembering how much I miss Queen Maeve. I really like that character.
We got Queen Maeve on ice. We got a little tease of her
for a minute.
She's often happy, right? That's where we ended up with her. She ran off with her lady.
Queen Maeve, I think, didn't she die with her eye, and then didn't she die horribly going out the building?
No, I think they faked her death, and she ended up like running off with her girl.
Oh, is that where we ended up?
I think so.
Okay. I miss her. I love that character. It's hard for me to remember because I watch so much television.
Yeah.
But and I liked her dynamic with Starlight. I did. I like Queen Maeve.
Yeah. The one I couldn't figure out when I was watching, I was like, wait, what happened to Giancarlo Esposito? I had to look it up. Did he die? Oh, no, I guess he just retired or something. All right.
I forgot about Maeve's lover.
Mike Joyce, Tilda Swinton voices the octopus the Deep is in a relationship with.
Are you kidding?
No. I looked it up too. It's Tilda Swinton. It's great. That's great. She's so good.
She's so good. Wait, going back to the on ice thing, that scene was unbelievable to shoot with Hughie in the. Mm-hmm. I thought that they did a great job with that.
Yeah. Also, I just feel bad. This universe is a nightmare. This is the worst. This is the worst universe to live in. It's awful.
Mike said she survived the fall, but ended up with no powers.
Good for her, man. I think if he's talking about Queen Maeve.
Yeah.
I think the option is run away. I think if I live in this universe, I'm running the fuck away. Where are the least amount of soups? I'm going there. That's where I'm going.
Yeah, but it feels like he can find, and by he I mean Homelander, anyone.
But see, at this point, I'm not somebody Homelander's looking for. I'm me. I'm me in this scenario, and I'm just not living in America. Fuck soups, man. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Anyway, Mike Joyce's question in the Discord: what other fun celebrity cameos do you think we'll get this season? We already you mentioned earlier, we got Will Ferrell in a hilarious cameo in A-Train's movie, which I guess is his origin movie. But as the trainer, fucking great. What a great reveal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if Jeffrey Dean Morgan's a cameo.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah.
The Ferrell stuff's good. Tilda Swinton, I mean, I know that's not a cameo now, but I can't get that out of my head.
Yeah. Well, they said, I don't know if I pulled it. In one of these interviews, they asked Kripke, the showrunner, if, who they might have lined up for the final season. It's like, we got a lot of A-list fans. So we'll see who fits where.
Don't you feel like they got to do Seth Rogen?
Has he not? I was just going to say that. Didn't he have a cameo in the first season as himself?
Did he?
As like someone was he was like the director of one of the 7 movies.
Was he? Somebody let us know.
Let us know in the chat. I'm looking up Seth Rogen in The Boys. This isn't going to help. Google doesn't work anymore.
What do you mean?
Oh, he's Seth Rogen is an actor who stars in the Vought cinematic universe film Black Noir.
Oh.
Yeah. But he should come back.
What do you mean Google doesn't work?
Google's trash now. Google, because they've made it, their efforts to like monetize it, integrate AI have made it functionally, at least.
Is that why it told me Arrow is the best current?
It's basically useless. It's not, it's just nowhere near as functional as it used to be, like everything. Leonard Kim in the Discord asked, they just announced The Boys' final season will be season 5, assuming Homelander still survives the current season. Who do you think the casualties of season 4 will be? We've been kind of talking around this.
If you had to place your bets, DJ, I want to hear the entire list, but if you had to place your bets on one person, like you're like, this is the sure thing, who would it be?
Roxy's not going to like this, but I don't see Firecracker making it out of this season.
No, I don't dislike that.
I don't think Firecracker's going to make it.
If she doesn't make it out, don't you think it's going to be a redemption thing?
Nah, I don't think so.
Oh.
I think that she's on a one-way street downhill. I don't think she seems too committed to the bit to back off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I've been kind of getting the vibe that MM's not going to make it.
That would bum me out, man. I like MM, and he's been good this season. I like him as leader, struggling to be leader.
Yeah, I just have been kind of getting that vibe that he is not going to make it out. I think if they have to kill a member of like the OG 7, it's like I don't know. Like, do you think that both A-Train and Deep are going to make it out of season 4?
Maybe out of season 4, but not out of the show. I doubt.
But that was the question. Out of season
4. Season 4.
Yeah,
just because they're so key. I can't see the show working as well without them. You kind of need it's because it is the 7, but really like those are a trinity. Homelander, the Deep, and A-Train, and they all bounce off of each other in different ways, you know?
Yeah. What's Sister's name? Sister what?
Sister Sage.
I think Sister Sage is gonna die.
Yeah, I don't think your new additions, the show isn't as nice to new additions.
Brought him on to kill him for sure.
Yeah. So speaking of Leonard Kim's point, this is season 4, but the show is ending with season 5. Kripke announced this on Twitter, saying, "It was always my plan. I just had to be cagey till I got the final okay from Vought. Thrilled to bring the story to just straight up calling Amazon Vought in case it wasn't clear to everybody. Thrilled to bring the story to a gory, epic, and moist climax. Watch season 4 now." He had an interview with Variety talking about, they asked him what this means for the spinoff. So that we've got Gen V and they're working on a Mexico set spinoff. And he said, "I think they can and should continue the boys' stories about Butcher and Homelander and these two planets crashing into each other. And this particular story doesn't work without both of them. And you can only keep that going for so long. So what I would say is this particular story is ending. The Butcher Homelander is ending. But there can be other stories and other corners of the universe. And hopefully it's vibrant and perverted enough to allow for those stories. So hopefully Gen V continues. Hopefully a couple other things we have in development continue."
Do you think after what he's saying, and or just what do you think, is Homelander making it out of season 5?
God, I hope not, man. God, I hope not.
It ends in Homelander dying and probably Butcher, both of them?
Yeah, I think I have a feeling this show's going to end with both of them dying. I could maybe see a world where they pull a Succession where like way earlier than you expect Butcher is out of the picture. Like not necessarily end of season 4, but maybe like way earlier in season 5 than you anticipate. But I have a feeling, considering the type of show this is, that final episode is going to be Butcher v. Homelander. What about you?
Yeah, I kind of think so too. I'm just wondering how that will affect Gen V, because obviously Homelander did make an appearance on Gen V.
Yes.
But even when he wasn't physically there, the presence of him is always there.
Yes.
There's always Homelander. The presence of Butcher isn't always anywhere.
Yes, you're right.
But so I wonder how that would affect that show.
I could see them doing something like Spider-Man Far From Home did with Iron Man, where now it's like, hey, open slot, who's going to be the next Homelander? and that kind of becomes like the engine driving.
Gen V, like they're kind of like gearing up to that. Yeah. I don't think Butcher or Homelander make it out. And I would be surprised if the show kills Hughie or Starlight.
Yeah.
I think they'll make it as well.
I feel like I agree with you. I feel like those two are your safest bets. Pretty much anybody else, I'm like kind of fair game. Like Frenchie, Kimiko. Like,
Kimiko might not make it through the season.
It depends on, they're slow burning her subplot this season. Like in the third episode, we meet what I presume is somebody from her past, but we don't know the specifics of that.
Yeah, and it does kind of draw us away from the main story, which I know is what a B story does.
Mm-hmm.
But when Frenchie's like, "Who is that girl?" I was like, "Do I care who that girl is?"
I had the same reaction. I'm like, oh. And like Frenchie's like all these. It's cool because they're doing cool stuff with Frenchie, but it's like, I just don't know if I'm invested in like his dark backstory.
Like in season 4, anything that kind of pulls us away, it's kind of like, okay, but I like her. So, and what really does she have to do right now?
Yeah, in that sense, MM's subplot is the most interesting because it directly ties into, can he keep everybody on a leash and get like the job done?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Totally.
I do like what I feel like they're building there. Because at first I was like, I don't know how I feel about not being good at leading the team, but I feel like it's more of, you need a good cop and bad cop. You need the good parent and the tough, the parent with the carrot and the parent with the stick. And it's like, MM's good dad. You need bad dad Butcher to like keep everybody in line. And it's like that you need that balance. And without the balance, everybody's just kind of walking over. It's like mom and dad had a divorce and everybody's walking over mom.
Yeah. Have we seen Hughie and Starlight be intimate this season at all?
Just a little smoochy.
They did smooch?
Yeah.
Because I'm trying, like, they're still dating, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even remember seeing it. Okay.
Yeah. So, Roxy, how do you feel about them ending with season 5?
Good. I feel like we're telling this story, and I'm glad we're not ending with season 4.
Mm-hmm.
I have time to gear up emotionally for season 5, and I think they can go out with a bang. Do I think they could have stretched it to 6 seasons? I do. Yeah. But I'm cool 5.
I agree with you, especially with season 2 and then even more with season 3. It's like, man, you can't stretch this out forever because it's just like each season ends with Homelander being more of a problem. And so it's one of those like, I'm glad that it's like, yeah, we have an end goal in mind because it always felt like a show with an end goal in mind. Not that we could just keep doing this forever. It's like, no, at some point, you guys got to deal with Homelander. You got to, because it's not... It keeps escalating, and I just couldn't see them continuing that trend. And so I'll be interested to see where season 4 sets us up. I'll be interested to see if the brain worms and Butcher, like what that could even be, and how that sets stuff up more. And I'm really interested to see if Jeffrey Dean Morgan's in his fucking head. That'd be wild.
I don't know that I'm right, but it's very clearly the two of them in like dark rooms talking.
Yeah, because in the first time he's in the coffee room, the other time they're in like an abandoned location or whatever, and then you're right. It's just the two of them. That's interesting.
What did he say? His name is John.
Let me see. I think I have it in my notes.
He said it. I was like, is that like somebody who passed from it, like his brother or something? I don't know.
Oh, do I not have it in my notes? Gosh. Dang it.
Gosh darn it.
What are the points of the notes if I don't have them in my notes? Hold on.
Whenever I don't know the answer, I look to see if Leonard tells me.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan. The Boys is playing... Oh, my God. Google, help me out here.
I feel like he said John.
I feel like you're right. I feel like it's something boring like that. Sorry, everybody. I'm going to derail the show.
It was so mean to all the Johns out there.
Sorry, John.
Yeah, I feel like it was something really boring like John.
Yeah, it was just not I mean, he's talking to a guy named Butcher. What his name in The Walking Dead is Negan. Come on.
Yeah, it's Negan.
Kessler. That's not boring. Maybe it's John Kessler. Oh, yeah, I don't know. And there's a scene where Homelander calls himself by his actual name, and I think it was something like John. Like when he talks to himself in the mirror, which is one of those scenes, you get scenes where he's like picking out his pubic hair. But then you get scenes where he's talking to himself in the mirror and you're like, yeah, this guy's not okay, everybody. This guy's not okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, John is Homelander's name. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was the scene, Mike, where Homelander's in the mirror and he's like, John, come here.
Yeah. And it's one of those like, yeah, man, this guy, this is a problem. This is not okay. Final thoughts on The Boys, Roxy.
Really looking forward to the season. It's like, can we call this the penultimate season?
Yes.
I think it's going to be a really good one, even if it's not as good as 3. This show kind of can do no wrong for me at this point because of the characters that they built. So off to a good start.
Yeah, I agree. I am excited to see where it goes. I'm interested to see if it ties in any more stuff from Gen V. And you can find me at DJ Talks Trash. Roxy, where can the kids find the stuff that they can check out from you?
Everywhere at Roxy Stryer.
And Real Rejects, apparently. No, but seriously,
Just
she's over
trying
there.
to sell. Do you want to launch a sweater line with me,
Maybe.
DJ?
Maybe. I haven't touched the merch store in a minute. It exists.
What's on your merch store, bro? What do you
We
got?
got some shirts with our logo on it. Listen, man. It's a lot to juggle. I'm a one-man for as far as behind the scenes stuff. I'm a one-man band over here. But yeah, let's start a merch line. You can find this show everywhere that matters at Only Stupid Answers, but on Twitter/X.
You got the vowels from stupid. I was like, you want me to do the whole thing now?
No,
What's this pause?
No. Listen, still got jet lag. It's the excuse I'm going to give. We'll see y'all next time, everybody. Bye-bye.